Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Roleplay, Far Verona. This is episode number 3, and I just had the worst thing happen to me. Max said something really dumb, and it was off camera, and so I can't make fun of him for it. But trust me, right before we started, unintentionally, Max mispronounced something in a really great way. Max,
no
I
idea
love you.
what he's
Thank
talking
you.
about.
Thank you for being a continual source of amusement to me. I really, really appreciate it. It's really good. How have you been, Max? You went and got a sandwich. How's your sandwich?
It's very good. There's a new place in town that I'm trying. I've been trying to find like some delis in the area that are pretty decent, and I think I found one. So very exciting.
What's your go-to sandwich wise? Like, you like a banh mi? You like a Cuban? What's your sandwich?
Both of those are really good. If there's a Cuban there and I get a feeling that I think they're going to do it pretty well, I'll go for the Cuban. Reubens are pretty good too, but honestly, I'm not picky when it comes to sandwiches. I'm the sort of person too. Else, if they have like a plain sandwich and you just add the fixes on, I have a lot of shit at the end. Like, I'm the one that has the sandwich that's like.
So where you're from, do they call a large sandwich a hoagie, a grinder? What is a sub? Because this is a regional thing. This is like soda and pop.
I think it depends on the place. I think there are some chains that like originate elsewhere, and then they bring that terminology with. I don't care what you call it. If it's really fucking good, I'll eat it.
Have you ever been in a position to argue with someone from New York about pizza? Has anyone ever made you that guy? Be like, listen, fight for the deep dish.
Yeah, but
yeah,
when I was younger and like hadn't experienced as much as like a pizza at large, maybe I was a little more like Chicago pizza, yay. No, I just don't care. It's like New York pizza. Yeah, you guys do thin crust, really fucking good. I've had it. It's tasty. It's fantastic. But you probably can't beat our deep dish. And if you want deep dish, come to us. If you want pizza everywhere else, go to New York and wherever. I don't care.
I think the thing that people misunderstand about the Chicago deep dish is it's not really a pizza. It's like a pizza style casserole.
Yeah. That's why they call it a pizza pie, because it's not like when you think of pizza, typically you think of like thin big slice, like that. But it's like a whole fucking meal in just one giant slice of pie. Pie is a good word because, you can have savory pies and things like that. And it's thick, super, super rich. It's not what you think of when you think of pizza.
Are you down, Mark, with the meat pies? I know that's a regional delicacy from where you're from.
Well, it depends. The meat pie more north of England, more than the south. I'm a fish and chips man down in the south. Nice. But no, and if it's got meat, cheese, and dough or crust, I'm generally on board. So that's what I can deal.
Yeah, cool. Well, Max, I did want to ask you before we move on and talk about everybody else's favorite food, because that's apparently a thing we're talking about. Do you get to play that Warhammer game yesterday?
I did, yeah. It's
how was it?
I really, really enjoyed it. I'm not somebody that has a whole lot invested in the Warhammer 40K universe, and I don't know the lore and stuff. I've always been kind of interested in it, but there's a lot of lore to it, obviously, we've talked about before. But yeah, I went into it pretty blind. Diction I was playing with him, Bikeman, and Delrith. Diction just told me, like, yeah, it's pretty much Space Marines, like sort of Vermintide gameplay, and it's scarier because you're on like ships and fighting Xenos and things like that. So I'm like, that sounds great, and that's exactly what it is. It's super, super cool. We were kind of like RPing the entire time, messing with our voice comms and stuff to sound like we were Space Marines, calling each other brother and all that shit.
Right. That's cool. So it was good. It wasn't just like derivative and terrible.
No, I mean, you might find a derivative and terrible. I don't know what you're looking for with it, but it's a good first person Space Marine, set in the 40K universe. I actually didn't know that it was set in the 40K universe. At first I was like, clear, this has to be 40K, right? Otherwise they're just blatantly ripping like everything. But yeah, it's good. I think people that are fans of the series will enjoy it.
Which war game is it, Max?
It's called Space Hulk Deathwing.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet.
And that's really, really cool. There's a lot of customization you can do with your armors, and some that's just cosmetic, others that are like upgrading your weapons and your perks and things like that. Yeah, it's cool. I really, really enjoyed it. Are we talking heresy now? Yeah, we're talking heresy.
It's cool. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of Warhammer games, and it's like flip a coin whether it'll be like playable or totally garbage. They're pretty loose about their licensing, and so they'll be like, I don't know, whatever, you want to make a 40K MOBA, go for it. Whatever, that's fine. Just send us our 12%.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to hear when a 40K or a Warhammer game comes out that isn't bad. Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's good. That's good. Anne, what have you been playing? There was a change to a game that you like recently, right?
Oh yeah. Well, Siege has a new like every season they've got new stuff coming out. So they have 2 new operators.
How much
they're like
do you hate
heroes
it?
or champions. I don't. It's kind of it's a weird thing because I feel like they have exhausted themselves of all of the realistic options that they have for tactical
Right.
operators in a like FBI, spec ops situation where they're like, this person shoots like grenades, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. And now this season, it's like this person has holograms that look 100% accurate to the existing person, and she just throws them, and they pop out of a little like dodecahedron thing, and it's like, is this supposed to be tactical realism anymore? Because it kind of doesn't feel like it is. But yeah, they have a new map and stuff. So, and it's a fun game to play with friends and that kind of thing. So
That's cool. Yeah. So you think that's gonna bring you back to playing that a bunch, or
yeah,
is it just
I think
like...
I go in phases with games, especially like first person shoot, like team objective games where I play one a lot for like many hours, and then I get tired of it, so I play something else, and then I kind of go back and forth.
So I had a question. I was trying to figure this out the other day, and I think you can help me because I observed part of this through watching you stream. Does anyone care about Overwatch anymore? Like as a game people play rather than watch? Like it might, because it seems to me like everyone that I know that played Overwatch just suddenly stopped. And I just hear about Overwatch esports and not like real humans playing it. Do people still play Overwatch? Help me understand this.
I feel I hate that question because I feel like I have such a personal tie to the people who actually like work at Blizzard, and I feel like I have been kind of like their person, their like Twitch girl to go to for a lot of their stuff. So I hate that question because I always feel so bad saying like I don't enjoy playing Overwatch, and I love the game as like a concept, and I miss playing the characters, but I don't miss the fact that like everything you do is reliant upon 5 other people not sucking at like not even sucking at the game, but just sucking as human beings, right? And it's every game I play. Yeah, every game I play, I'm just like, we can't even find 6 people who don't suck as humans and put them into one game together. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think a lot of people have kind of moved on to other things.
That's a fundamental challenge of game design in a multiplayer sense across the board, right? Where you're like, can we design a game that is fun to play in a team way, despite the fact that everyone on Earth is a terrible trash bag? Can we make a game that can overcome and bypass that?
And that's why I think battle royale games are so popular now, because I don't have to have 6 people on my team. All I can play by myself against a bunch of other people, and that's it. And all I have to rely on is myself, and maybe like one other person, maybe 3 other people if I want to play squads, but it's like I get to choose whether or not I want to rely on other people. And in Overwatch, you don't have a choice. You have to rely on those other people. Like you have to be a part of that team in order to play the game. And in battle royale games, you're just like, this is my thing that I'm doing, and if I screw up, then I screw up.
Yeah.
So
do you think games with smaller player bases tend to have less of that problem because the trash bags all burn off and you just have the people that actually care about the game? Like if you were looking to play a multiplayer game and didn't want to have that awful feeling of like these are other humans who don't care if I have fun, like what's the way to avoid that? Like how do you get that multiplayer experience? I guess if you knew that, you would make like a very successful game and be a billionaire.
Well, I think Siege is a little bit more like that because you only have 5 people on a team, and then all 5 of them are pretty much equally capable. But the thing is, like in Overwatch, if you are playing Mercy and everyone else on your team sucks, you can't do anything. There is 0% chance that you are going to be able to carry the team on your back and win the round, right? But in Siege, like if everyone on my team dies, I don't have that sinking feeling of like, now it's all on me.
You can still Hail Mary long bomb that thing on your own.
Oh yeah, I can. I'll kill all 5 other people on the other team, and then I feel like a god, right? But in Overwatch, you can't. Like Mercy's got her little pea shooter and is just helpless. So I think it's just also like the classes make it an impossible thing to overcome.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, and that's the thing. I think that you're right. I think Overwatch is fundamentally a teamwork oriented game, and it can be really hard when and it leads to like, this is what makes people angry in video games, and they start yelling at their team and they're like, you're ruining this for me. And it's like, well, yeah, that's the game is built to make this sad and frustrating for people if they're not all kind of equitable skill level wise. Well, just keep playing games that allow you to be the FPS god that we all know that you are, and you'll be fine.
Well, I also started building the special edition 7,500 piece Millennium Falcon, and it's glorious.
God help you. How's it going? I saw you 8 hours in.
Yeah, here's my 8 hours of progress. I can show you.
Please don't drop it.
Wow.
Please, for the love of God. Please be careful with that. You're freaking me out.
So far.
Nice.
Massive.
Good landing sponsons. I like it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's excellent. So. Yeah, so that's 8 hours. I still have probably another 30 to go.
Wow.
Yeah, I built Blue Jay, and I built one of the like lesser ones, the Star Destroyer, the New Order Star Destroyer, and it was like a 6-hour project. It was about as much Lego as I think I could handle in one go.
Yeah,
but, you're tackling the big boy. Exciting.
Yeah,
cool.
It's amazing.
Cool. Well, good luck with that, and please just be careful with it. Like I have
keep like picking it up every time. If people are like, please
don't do that to me, please don't. Bronze Girl, what have you been doing lately? What have you been playing? How's the running going?
It's going. We're getting better. One day I'll be a cardio god. One day. Yeah, I don't know. Today was a stressful day for me.
Oh, yeah.
I was building my base in Conan, and the way roofs work in that game is very upsetting. And so it went from a really zen caveman experience to me being like, why won't you fit together? The pieces are supposed to fit, and why don't you have flat thatched roofs in this game? So it got like pretty upsetting pretty quickly, because like I was like feeling super zen. I was like inside my inner caveman mode. I was raping and pillaging and doing all the things that befit a man of my stature. And then that roofing incident happened, the great roofing incident of 2018.
It's good. Giant snake.
Just like getting defeated and just putting pieces anywhere to just cover my fucking house. Yeah, so that's where it ended for
snakes,
me.
Evil cultists, other barbarians, dinosaurs, etc. No problem. Making your roof fit together. That's the real challenge.
So upsetting. So upsetting. I just want to kill animals, drag their pelts back to my home, and create aesthetically pleasing furniture to attract a potentially suitable mate. So I have to stop clubbing them and forcing them to come home with me. But no.
Well, it wouldn't be an episode of Far Verona if Bronze didn't say something that upset and slightly aroused somebody in the audience. So nice work. Good job. You've terrified just the right people already today. Good. I'm gonna move on. You're done. Your time is done. I want Mark. Have you read Mordenkainen's yet? Have you taken a flip flop through the new D&D thing?
I flicked through it. I've not had a chance to properly go over it all. I only got my copy a couple of days ago, but yeah, I've just been kind of like looking at it. There's some cool stuff in there. Like it's cool to see kind of like some of the more humanoid stuff expanded out, and then some weirder stuff as well is always nice.
Yeah, it seems like, to me at least, and you can tell me if I'm just talking on my ass here, but it seems like 90% of that book I will never get to use in a campaign because it's
a lot of high level stuff.
Or at the end, it's like the last track on a record that you kind of like, but you never listen to the full. You're not going to get to the end of the double LP and be like, all right, Mammon, I have use for you now. I wonder about that.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one, like because I saw a lot on the groups, like people saying like, oh, the monster manual doesn't have enough high level monsters, and like for me, like I'll be lucky if my campaigns go past like level 12, level 15. Like we've just High Rollers is finishing this weekend, and that's 2.5 years, and they're level 15. Like it's been a long ass time. Playing once a week.
We've been doing Court of Swords, what, a year and a half max?
Yeah,
75 episodes, year and a half, and yeah, they're all like almost level 10. I wonder about that because I bet you the book is going to sell like hotcakes anyway, and then like next to no one is going to use it. How do you feel about starting campaigns at high level? How does that? Is that a solution?
I think so. I think that it's like if you're a newer DM, I wouldn't recommend it just because high level combat is a beast. It's complex. There's a lot of moving parts. The balancing can be quite tricky, but again, it depends on, if you just want to be the type of GM that throws high level encounters and then just says, no, it's your problem, it's not mine, then that's fine. But yeah, I think also starting starting at a high level just gives you more character options as well. It lets people kind of create characters that have got a bit more of a theme to them. People making characters below level 3, generally it's like
yeah, they don't really count until they hit level 3.
Yeah. But to be honest, again, what? Yeah, that one.
Confused baby dinosaur. It's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, I've been doing a lot of. It's funny, Anne, talking about Siege because I've been playing quite a lot of that because me and some of the guys from Hat Films have been doing quite a lot of that this week, doing some collabs and playing a lot of Siege, which has been fun. It's definitely one of my preferred online FPSs actually at the minute. Is playing a bit of Siege.
We should play.
It's good fun. Oh God, dude, I would please teach, please.
Yeah,
God of FPS is Anne. Please tell me how to say.
I've definitely been in that position where I've watched especially Anne. I've watched Anne play a game and be like, this looks like fun, and then I'll play it and I'll be like, oh, I'm bad at these. This is fun if you're good.
We've just started getting to that point where I feel like I've just started improving and I've started like learning maps and some of the little kind of tricks to Siege, like peeking and creating holes in walls and things like that. And I've just got to that point where I'm like, oh, this is a whole new game. Like,
I hear they have holograms now, so that's a great time to
I'm excited. I'm excited about the pseudo sci-fi crap that they're adding in now.
Yeah, there's a genre, and I'm not sure what the name of it is, but Tom Clancy is like all over that genre of like slightly far future police or military, not quite sci-fi because sci-fi is for dorks, but it's like speculative police or military fiction, and it's all like weird gadgets and Elon Musk, but it shoots bullets.
Yeah, I started looking. I wanted to try and work on design a tabletop miniatures game with the kind of inspired by like Siege and Counter-Strike. So I think it's a really fun tactical element, and I think that would translate to a really cool tabletop miniatures game as well.
Do you know John Harper? Have you been introduced to John Harper? Because I feel like okay, I'll tweet at the both of you and be like, now make a game, because John has some very specific thoughts about like Splinter Cell kind of like tactical stuff. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
sounds good.
I think you would enjoy that conversation.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Okay.
Let's do the thing. Let's play a role-playing game. I gave everybody the time here in case you didn't do your homework. But we had some homework from last time. I'm not gonna hassle everybody about it. I'm not gonna be that guy. If you filled in your character sheet and you have your foci, then good. If not, whatever. Let me know when you pick it. Super don't care. And we'll just start. So a couple of quick things that I wanted to talk about rules wise before we start, because one of these things is like a weird thing this game does, and it's buried in a skill. So you may not know about it. If you've played a game like Burning Wheel, 31 minutes for people who are waiting for that. If you played a game like Burning Wheel or like Mouse Guard, or maybe you watched Mirror Shades, there's a thing in this where you can generate NPCs if you need them. There's a skill in this. So it's the contact skill, I think is what it's called. And if you use the contact skill, you can basically tell me like, we need to know somebody in this world or in this city or whatever. Connect, that's what it's called.
Cool.
And you can just say like, cool, I know a person, let's roll. And then I could be like, okay, yeah, sure. You know a drug dealer, or you know a corrupt cop, or you know someone who can help you in this situation to get you illicit goods, help you out with the culture, whatever. So this is a way that we can prevent that whole PCs don't know anybody thing where you go to a planet and you're like, well, despite the fact that my character is socially connected, I don't know anybody here. And GM, can I have some NPCs, please? So that's a thing to keep in mind for this episode. And then, do people have goals? Have we got goals squared away?
I think it's funny you mentioned that, because I chose that as like my foci when I leveled this time around.
Yeah, there's one which is all about that. I did my goals.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do yours first then. Jason, what did you pick as your goals?
So I got a short-term goal and a long-term goal, and the short-term goal is to pilot a fighter ship or a mech in an actual battle, because Jason's only ever really done sims. He's kind of, he's a test pilot. He's been like in real like aircraft and mechs, spacecraft and mechs, but in a testing facility. Like, he's tested its conversation and stuff.
The conversation for the beginning of Aliens, right? Like how many drops, right? Simulated. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, simulated. And then his long-term one is he wants to do something that enhances the Argus family's reputation, whether that's in the wider galaxy or whether that's just in Fornax. He wants to kind of make them proud. So he's a good boy.
He really is. So you want to make Mama Argus proud and pilot a ship or make a real, and you could theoretically do both of those at once if you win that battle.
Yeah.
I really like goals that are like, do a thing in battle, because if I don't give you one, you're going to be looking for excuses to pick a space fight. So that's good. I'm looking forward to that. That's good. Cool. All right. Riley, do you have your goals?
Yeah. So
tell me what they are.
Yeah. My main goal right now is to ensure that the situation with Yancey has been diffused.
Oh, nice. So you're not going to let it go. You're going to like make sure that
hell no. That dude's going to probably like try to get me court-martialed or something. I don't trust that dude as far as I can throw him, and I cannot throw his fat ass very far. So yeah, that's my main goal right now.
Okay. All right.
That's my short term and my long term.
Right. Yeah. You can just have the one goal for now and come up with one. I think Yancey can be a short term that turns into a long term, or it can be a long term that you
I don't want this dude to be a villain later. That's all I'm saying. Because when, like the chat said, when an NPC gets a name, that's when you're like, oh
shit.
Yeah. So he got a name. Now it needs to be fixed.
It's fine. As soon as I get to play someone, you put them on your kill list. That's good. That's fine. Yeah. Well, Yancey's a dick anyway, so that's fine. Okay. Cool. Good. And then as you go, you can decide if you want to add in other goals, etc. Max, do you know what you want Booker's goals to be right now?
Let me see if I'm muted. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not. Okay. Short-term goal is going to be bring together his operative group and improve their reliability and synergy. That also kind of sounds like a long-term goal, but that's one of them. And then long-term goal is expose the inner hypocrisy and shady dealings of his noble family.
Whoa! I like your goals. Your goals are they're on such polar opposite ends of things. They're like, my first goal is to get my team to work better together. My second goal is to point out the hypocrisy inherent in the system. That is a big goal. I am impressed. Cool. Good. That's a lot. I like it. You're going to get a shit ton of experience if you manage to accomplish that.
It'll take a while, but
yeah. And I thought find out why bad things keep happening to me was a big goal. This is a very big goal. Cool. Okay. Great. I like it. Do you know what your goals are going to be, Anne?
Yes. No. Okay. My struggle is that long term is not like super long term, right? Because you want it to be accomplishable in. Okay.
Yeah, long and short term are really more just ways to like wrap your head around it. You could have two short term or one long term or two long term. It doesn't super matter to me. We can work around that. It was just a way to kind of guide you to make them. But yeah.
Okay. I'm not positive.
Okay. Yeah.
About what I want.
If you want to hang on to them, that's cool.
Okay.
That's all right. We can talk about it more in the post show.
I've written something down on a doc. Let me see if I can find that, and then I will let you know.
Okay. As soon as and honestly, like for me, you're gonna keep getting XP for doing like mission-y type stuff, and eventually, if Booker gets his way, you will not be operating on this ship forever. You eventually you'll need your own goals to decide what you're doing.
What was his goal?
Of his noble family, not the nobility, house.
This is how the great chain of being works, Max. If there's something wrong with House Crux, there's something wrong with all the Empire. And if there's something wrong with the Empire, there's something wrong with humanity. Ergo, it all just fucking comes tumbling down. We're gonna House of Cards this shit.
Can my long-term goal be a secret from other people except for Adam?
100% yes, definitely.
Okay, great. I remembered what it was, and I remembered that's why I didn't say it, because it was
good. Yeah.
I'll mess it.
Good. Well, I'm glad you caught that, and this wasn't all right. So my short-term goal is I want to kill Max's enthusiasm for the mission.
Well, my short-term goal is to expose and take down synths. That's the short term.
Okay. Yeah, just do
But
the
I'll
mission
message you
so that the
long-term
synth angle is covered.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel that. That's good. That's cool. Okay. Great. Well, you're currently in between missions. You'll get your new briefing from the Richter when it arrives. But I think that when we fade in on the scene, you're at your debriefing, right? So you're with the Richter, and basically this is a standard post-mission thing where you get together and you let him know kind of what happened during the mission. All four of you are invited because you make up the task force that performed the retirement. But really, this is sort of Booker and the Richter's show for the most part. So I think that we probably fade in on Booker sort of mid recap, right? Explaining to the Richter what happened. So the scene, and I'll let you pick it up after this, Max. But the scene is you're in a kind of hexagonal shaped meeting room on the Prudence. There's a table in front of you that has a multi-use holo display that's currently dormant. It's turned off. There is a crux banner hanging on the wall. There are two exits from the room. The doors are shut right now, and the group of you are sitting or standing around this table, and the Richter Iscari is sitting across from you. He's wearing his judicial robes. He has several outfits, but he has a generic sort of noble uniform of his rank that he wears when he's on the ship. The Richter is an older man. Probably, if he were, you don't know his actual age because you can buy things that can make you live longer, but he looks like he's in his 60s, maybe 70s. Probably a less frail Moff Tarkin kind of looking guy. Darker skin, not quite so pasty, but he carries himself with the imperious air of someone who knows that he is a significant authority. The Richter Iscari knows that he is a big deal on this ship and that you need to pay attention to him. But in the moment, you have his ear because you were explaining to him what happened on the mission. So, Booker, what are you thinking? What are you telling him?
Yeah, you said it was mid speech. Booker's.
Yeah, this is my opportunity. I'm going to turn it over to you to give kind of an in-character recap of what the mission looked like from Booker's perspective.
So we secured the location of the in question synth, tracked him down to his domicile. Things got a little unstable, but we cleaned it up. Did a little bit of snooping around in his domicile. Doesn't seem like there's any connection to a larger network of synths, and bagged him up and brought him back here.
He just kind of pauses for a second, waiting for the Richter.
Yeah, and so he nods, and he's got a data projector. He's got a pad that he glances at, and then he looks back at you to continue. He doesn't interrupt.
After that, reported back to the ship. Seems like the crew's taken well to each other. Minimal confrontations. Don't know if there's any other questions you have. Feel free.
And he looks at the pad, and he looks back at you, and he says, this Eridanus Viscount, it says here in your report you don't believe him guilty of any misdeeds. He's not harboring any more artificials?
No, sir, it doesn't seem that way. We paid him another visit, grilled him pretty hard, and the man's very squeamish, very squirrely, but not smart enough to run anything complex. He appeared to be telling the truth.
Typical. These Eridanus pencil pushers. Why we ever let them outside of Imperial Core, I'll never know. We have agents on the planet that will assure its continued success in our absence. You did good work, Officer Greaves. If there's nothing else, and he doesn't invite anyone else in the room to talk, but the pause is a like, if any of your underlings have anything to say.
Yeah, I'd say Booker picks up on it and, includes the others, like, nothing on my end, sir. Anyone else, you have the floor. Say anything to the Viscount or Richter.
No, I just
Everyone else
politely
is quiet?
like kind of nod or like bow.
That's all from
Alright.
us, sir.
He nods. He says, "Good. Well, you're dismissed then." And he gestures for you, like you can go.
Yep.
But he doesn't get up.
Yeah, Booker gets up and kind of motions to the rest of them.
So as you start to leave, he says, "Cirrus, a moment."
I just stop walking and turn around and fold my hands in front of me and wait for him to talk.
Is there any interaction between the rest of you, like, or do you just leave Nomi here?
Booker kind of does casts a little look back just a little bit and looks at Nomi at her face just to see like how she's looking, but like it's fine.
Yeah, Jason will just give a formal sort of like half bow to the Richter and to Nomi, and then he'll head out. But I don't think he'd go very far. Like he'd probably want to kind of lean up against a wall nearby and just kind of wait it out,
Okay. Yeah. So just like wait around to see. Okay.
Yeah, just like, just stick around. Like if it takes too long, he'd probably head off, but he'd just be kind of like sticking around a little bit.
Okay. All right. So you walk out. You hear the door hiss shut behind you, and Nomi, you're in the room with the Richter, and he stands up and turns away from you and walks over to a sidebar. And as he approaches it, a decanter of something like rises up out of its internal refrigeration unit, and he takes a couple of glasses and he fills each glass with some kind of expensive liquor, and he places them both on the table and looks at you, and he says, "Have a drink with me, Cirrus." And he just pushes the glass towards you.
And I walk forward and take it.
Okay. Yeah. He gestures and he says, "Sit down, please."
I do.
Okay. And he smiles at you, which is a bit unnerving, because he was so like businesslike in the previous moment. But he smiles, and he says, "I wanted to have a conversation with you about the mission, about your feelings, the efficacy of your team. Officer Greaves provided me with a tactical oversight, but I wanted to know if your particular talents gave you insight into the operation."
Are you displeased with the way that our mission went?
It's not my job to be pleased or displeased, Cirrus. Emotion doesn't enter into it for me. My job is to make sure that the law is upheld. In matters of feeling, I defer to your expertise.
The synth threat was retired, and we did not find any evidence of any other synths. I feel, and I kind of like hit on that word since he was like saying your feelings or whatever. I feel that the efficacy of our team was demonstrated by our success.
So, you think that the operation was performed with due discipline? And he looks at the pad, and if you cast a glance at it, certainly the camera does, you see Yancey's like personnel file on the pad.
Yeah. I think it's to be expected that there will be, at times, animosity between people of different backgrounds. I think that Officer Greaves did a marvelous job in his handling of the situation. And I believe that our team is adequately prepared to defend themselves against these certain attacks.
It's my understanding, Siriska, that the officer in question had an altercation with your acre asset. Was the asset properly disciplined for this breach in protocol?
It is not my professional belief that the asset in question was requiring of any discipline.
He raises a single gray eyebrow. Is that so? When was the last time that you attended church service, Siriska? Are you a frequent visitor to the chapel?
I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't aware that that was a part of my service.
He shakes his head. Well, it's not. I just thought that as a noblewoman of good standing, you would see to your spiritual needs as much as your other more specific tasks.
I believe that I am in touch with that side of my being. And in more ways than one, I find ways to search that part of myself, but perhaps not in such a formal setting.
You should speak with the chaplain. I think that the two of you would get along nicely. We could all use a little guidance. Tell me, before you go, and like suddenly like it's a foregone conclusion that he's just decided the meeting is almost over. What are your feelings about Officer Greaves? Is he adequate to lead this task force, or should I be entertaining his replacement?
I'm trying to think if I can use my...
Yeah, if you have a skill you want to use or an ability or whatever, yeah, you can call for that stuff for sure.
Yeah, so I was reading the thing real quick to see. I don't know. Okay, so he says that, and then I respond and say, I set the drink down on the desk, and I stand up, and I say, based on the performance of this first mission, or this most recent mission, I believe that it is clear that we are an effective team. I think that our success was decided greatly by the efficiency of our team working together. And I think that our team, as you know, was led by Officer Greaves. If you wish to reduce the efficacy of our team, then perhaps you should entertain a replacement. But it is my understanding that we did our job well.
One last question, Cirrus. Do you believe that the ends justify the means?
I don't know how to answer that. That scares me. That question scares me. I don't know. Yes.
I mean, you could just say, like, I'm not sure, sir. Like, it's, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like such a leading question.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's clear to everyone involved that he's just like, Your answer is very interesting to me, whatever it is.
I know. I don't know if I can use my like telepathic thing to gauge like what he wants my response to be.
Yeah, you could
Like,
certainly
what's
like
the-
turn on this is your jam, right? Like feeling what people are feeling and like
Yeah, like what
try
he's
to get a
trying
read
to
on him.
lead me into. Because I feel like he's trying to lead me into an answer, right?
Maybe. Yeah, let's make some rolls. Let's see what happens. So what would you like to do? What would be the thing? Do you want to try to use your psychic power on him?
Yeah, telepathic contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right. So you'll be able to get a feel for what his his feelings are. So yeah, you reach out with your psychic ability, and I think that he radiates smugness, and not the kind of smugness that comes from someone unused to power, but it is a deep and buried smugness that he is probably not even aware of. Like, he knows that he always gets his way because he's important. And even if you point it out to him, like, yo, you're being really smug, he wouldn't notice. He's just like, whatever you say, I get to take credit for. So if you're a failure, I get to take credit for knowing you were a failure. And if you're a success, then I made you this way. He is completely and totally self-assured. So in a way, whatever you say, you're going to get the same response. He's likely to nod and be like, interesting, right? You can just see that he's on it. So really your answer maybe doesn't matter in the way that you think that it does. But he will remember whatever it is that you say and file it away.
Okay. So he asks me, do the ends justify the means? And so I just say, when it comes to ridding the universe of the synth threat, I believe so. If that will be all, sir?
He smiles.
I like wait for him to dismiss me.
Of course, Cirrus. I do so enjoy our little chats. Please, you're dismissed.
I bow and like walk away.
Okay. Jason, are
That's
you
horrifying.
waiting? Are you still waiting outside when Nomi comes out?
So I like the idea that when he hears the doors like hiss or he sees Nomi turn, he like turns around and tries to awkwardly like busy himself with something around, like, you know, playing with something or like trying to pretend like he wasn't waiting even though he clearly was. Like,
You're the guy in the background of that Star Trek shot just doing this, like he's fixing the wall.
that kind
Cool.
of thing, yeah. Or like
Yeah,
inspecting something, like, oh, look at
being
this panel.
nonchalant.
Yeah, trying to be.
Well, let's. I mean, I want to see if you pull off your nonchalance. Let's have you roll.
Yeah, sure.
Roll sneak, but do it with your charisma.
Okay.
Yeah, just do a charisma based sneak roll to see if you just blend in to whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So like, you know, maybe if no one looks too hard, they won't notice that whatever you're doing is nothing.
Nomi's
But
not
yeah,
great at
so-
social things, so she's like, sure, he's fixing the wall. That
Yeah,
seems
so
right.
Nomi, you step out, and when we see you, what is the look on your face? Is this a moment of relief, like I'm out of there, or is it just like blank? Like what do we see?
Just
when we see
blank.
you step out?
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't outwardly express emotion very much.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Jason, you managed to blend in, and you see Nomi step out.
Okay.
Do you say anything to her?
Yeah, if she's just like no, I think like he just kind of if she looks the same, if Nomi looks the same that she normally does, then he just kind of lets it go on. Like I think he'd just let her move on basically and just be like, oh, okay, and then he'd go off somewhere.
Oh, it's cute. You were like hanging out in case she got in trouble or like needed some help. Aw,
Or was it that, Adam? Was it that?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Awesome. Okay. All right. So meanwhile, though, when you left the meeting, Riley and Booker, do you go different directions to be at a like walking down the hall having a conversation moment for the two of you, or what? Where does that go?
Booker is walking with purpose towards like a vacant conference room, like a small conference room.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll leave him to his devices. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Because you have your own devices to attend to.
Mhm, yeah.
Because the word has two meat. So all right, Booker,
Yep,
where
yep.
what are you doing? We see you go find like an empty conference room. What do we see? Where do you go?
Booker brings up his, I guess just data pad, or uses like the comm panel on the wall of the conference room. The page, he's not an officer, he's a soldier. Are they soldiers? Yancey. He's paging Yancey. I'm sure.
Yeah, technically, so we've been using officer to mean like kind of anybody that's part of the
ship. Okay, that's what I wanted. Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I just wanted to make the distinction between that and the military term of officer. Yeah, so he's paging Officer Yancey to report to the conference room that he's in.
Okay, all right. So you wanna page Yancey. Let's have you roll to see if he comes to your summons. Make a connect roll with charisma, because Yancey's busy. He's got shit to do, and maybe also he just wants to be like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm Yancey.
I'm Yancey.
Yancey has an attitude problem. Okay, yeah. So so when you do that, you're like you beep him or whatever. We cut to the gym, and there's a couple of officers around, and Yancey's like lifting up some space weights, and he puts them on the thing, and he gets up and he like wipes his forehead and he looks at his comm panel, and one of the other officers is like, kind of gives him the like, ooh, boss is calling for you, like, oh, Greaves wants to talk to you, and he's like, yeah, well, Greaves can wait, and he dismisses the notification.
That notification said immediately, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's just like, nah, I'm busy.
Can I page him again after like a period of time?
Yeah, how long do you wait? Like, you don't get a notification that so you sit and you wait in this conference room, and at what point are you like, wait a second, he's not coming?
Well, I was assuming I can track his location if he's moving or not.
Yeah, totally. You have access to the internal systems of ship that would let you. Yeah, so you can see him like he's in the gym. You can't track any further than that, but that's where he's at.
After 5 minutes, yeah, if he's not moved from his location, I ping him again. And it's the same ping, and it says now in caps.
So we cut over to the locker room, and there's a bunch of like semi-naked soldier types blurred out in the background, and in the focus of the shot, sitting on the bench, we see like his uniform and his little like wrist communicator thing, and it's blinking. And we can like, obviously the implication here is he's in the shower. So no, he doesn't. Yeah, you get no response.
All right, Booker gets up and heads to exactly where he's at.
Yep. All right. So Booker's like, nah, fuck this. You get up and you head to the all right, so we stick with you. And you walk into the like recreation area. And there's a couple of officers just kind of like lifting weights or spotting each other. Two of them are like sparring in an empty kind of like foam padded area. And you don't see Yancey around.
Yeah. Booker probably makes eye contact with the nearest soldier that makes eye contact with him. Walks in, is like,
yeah, Yancey, where is he?
Yeah, I think he's not actually your second in command, but you're like the guy who thinks he's your second in command is here. Yitzhak, what's his Officer Holtzman. Yeah, so Officer Holtzman, you see him, and he's like lifting like a kettlebell up over his head, and he sees you, and he's like, oh, hey, Officer Greaves. Like sets it down, grabs a towel and walks over, and you're like, Yancey, where is he?
Holtzman, where is Yancey?
Oh, Officer Ibanez, he points at the back. He's like, it's just getting changed, I think.
Thank you. Just moves that way.
Gives you a little salute. Right. So you walk into the back, and like I said, a bunch of people like getting dressed. You see one of the officers like she's toweling her hair. She sees you walk by. You look around. You don't see Yancey anywhere, and then your eyes fall on the top part. You can see his head over the partition of the shower, and he's like, space shampooing his space hair. And he doesn't see you, but he's in the shower right now.
Booker approaches the shower curtain and walks right in. Full clothes and everything.
Okay. All right. So it's like an open area with like kind of like shoulder lower like partitions. But you can just like walk in right behind him.
Yep.
And
walking right in.
That's a baller move.
He turns around when he hears you, your boots on the shower floor. He turns around and he starts to say, "What the fuck?" Do you want to interrupt him or?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I disturbing you, Ibanez?
Yes. Yeah, you are. And he's like wiping soap out of his eyes. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of something. The fuck?
Booker pins him to the wall, kind of lightly, but like you're not going anywhere. He's like,
Yeah, so you get a little bit of a crowd, a couple of people trying to look like they're not watching.
the curtain's closed, by the way. Booker closed the curtain. He gave him that dignity.
Okay. Well, so
Unless
you could grab him and push him into another area if you don't want anyone to see this. But the actual shower thing is like an open area.
Well, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Open gym shower.
I just thought maybe there was like a cover or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so you just slam him up against the tile, and
he's not doing it to hurt him, but he's just like shocking him. He's like,
you get one thing right, Ibanez. I paid you. You come, not on your time, on mine.
He like just waits a beat as the water's coming down.
Right, and he's sputtering a little bit because you're holding him under the shower, so he's kind of like chokes a little bit. You want to try to roll to intimidate him? Let's see how he takes this, because either he's going to be like, "Whoa, Greaves is like off the handle here, and I need to be careful," or he's going to be like, "Fuck you, I hate your guts," and it's just going to make him angrier. So I think this is lead, I think, because you're setting an example. So yeah, roll lead with charisma.
Through authority, I gained lead as a bonus skill. Does that
just means you already got you have the bonus to the
so it should be at 0, not -1.
Yes, correct.
The fan art this week is going to be interesting.
Spicy. Spicy.
New ship.
Oh, lead with what?
Charisma. Just make sure the charisma is set as your stat. Oh shit, you put him in his place. And with a 12, not only do you put him in his place, but none of the other officers that are watching are going to be like, man, Greaves is a hard ass. They're going to be like, man, Greaves is a hard ass. So yeah, he's just like, it sputters and like chokes a little bit, and you can see the fight go out of him, right? He accepts what you say. He's not going to apologize or whatever, but you can see that you won. You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, as that happens, he just keeps locked eyes with him. He's like,
the conference room, 5 minutes,
and then walks away.
And he kind of like holds his chest. There's like a bit of a bruise where you grabbed him, like a red spot. And he looks around at the other officers who now are all kind of like looking away, like, we're not going to help you, Yancey. And he just mutters to himself like, fuck, and grabs a towel angrily off the shelf and walks to get dressed. So meanwhile, Riley, where are you? Where did you go after the debriefing? I think you're muted, right?
Whoops, wrong one.
Hi. Hello. Welcome back.
Hi. I'm in my quarters.
Okay.
Angrily, like, working on my bots. Angrily, by the way, muttering the entire time. Stupid fucking noble.
It's not, it's not that hard to imagine. Like, I've definitely angrily installed a video card before, so I know. It's
it's like that. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So you've just returned to your room to work. And I think while you're there doing that, you hear your door, like, proximity, like someone rings your doorbell. Essentially, you hear the beeping sound of someone at your space. And actually, before you go to answer the door, what does Riley's quarters look like? Like, we've seen Nomi's, and yours are much smaller, but describe your living space.
Messy. There's bits and baubles everywhere, magazines everywhere. There's posters that have been hastily taped up onto the walls. Like, you don't even know where maybe she even got paper in this day and age, but they're all retro, like just old things, battered. Probably where she spends most of her allowance, whatever little money she doesn't give to the banks. Things of, like, pictures of, like, robots, ads for, Actually, would paper be very expensive in this day and age? I'm assuming yes.
I mean, there's a lot of planets with a lot of trees, so like paper wouldn't be that hard to come by. But I think because it's sci-fi, it's like thinly printed, like plastic. Like e-paper is a
Okay,
thing,
fair enough.
so you
That's
could
better. Yeah.
reprogram us. You get a single magazine that would become different magazines, but you could also get
Mhm.
individually printed, like thin printed plastic. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to be true to the universe, but
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
mostly advertisements for like
Sweet.
either companies she likes or rather parts that she likes. Things like that. There's some acre
Right. Okay.
posters.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it looks a bit like a cross between a room and like a hot rod garage, because it's got all these
Yes.
kind of like promotional
Mhm.
posters for.
There's
Okay.
tools everywhere, and then kind of like in one like prominently displayed is the sort of certificate she got for graduating through the hero program.
Mm-hmm.
And she has
Okay.
that like kind of put aside specially. She's pretty
Okay,
proud
yeah.
of her rehabilitation.
So you hear the like beep boop of your door. Someone is outside, wants to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wipe my face. There's like a giant grease smear that goes across it, and put my wrench into one of my many loops on my jumpsuit and open the door. Who is
Okay.
it?
You see a familiar face, though we've never seen her on screen before. There's a woman standing there in a gray suit, with the Acre logo on a lapel pin, and then some kind of like other marker indicating her status at the corporation. She's well dressed, well manicured, a fairly like simple look, kind of like a black like bob haircut, just purple lipstick on. And how tall are you?
I'm like 5'9".
Okay, so she's shorter than you. She's like
Mhm.
5'2", probably. And this is subdirector Lau. Her name is Penelope, but you're not allowed to call her that.
Yeah.
She is the Acre subdirector responsible for this ship. She's the person on the ship that handles all the contracting here. And she looks up at you, and she is holding her pad, and she says, she looks at her watch, her chronometer, and she says, did you forget about our meeting?
I 1,000 apologies, subdirector. I lost track of time. I was just about to write down some of the specifications for that, some of the modifications you wanted on the Tom. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Everything after I'm sorry just kind of like goes. She just let it pass through her, and she smiles and she says, "Of course, not to worry. Well, I'm here now. May I?" Gestures.
Yeah, of course. Come in. Welcome
Okay.
to Casa de Riley.
Yes, quite.
Sorry for the mess. Hard at work here.
Over. We get a low shot close to the ground where we see one of her very expensive patent leather shoes step over some greasy piece of equipment. And the door slides shut, and she kind of looks around. She finds a clear space that she can stand in, and she says, we have plenty of educational programs about the value of being tidy. It can increase productivity by 0.6, 0.7% just by thinking about tidiness. I could send you some if you like.
I would greatly appreciate that. I'm sure it's a tool I could definitely use in my everyday operations.
Your comm device buzzes a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was, thank you. I'll be sure to peruse those.
She nods, and you just know somewhere that your bank account dipped microcredits a couple of times. And she says, well, time is money. So how have you been? How was your mission?
It was good. It was, yes.
And you're providing the value that you promised the crew. You have a review coming up,
I know. Yes, I do. I'm very excited for it. I feel like everyone will be pleased, and I'm sure it'll have a favorable outcome.
And you're getting along with your peers?
With my peers, yes.
She catches that and gives you a little like, would you like to elucidate? So the two of you just blink at each other for like a good 2 or 3 seconds. And she doesn't say anything, and you want to play silence chicken with her? Okay, I'm gonna make her make a saving
I really
throw.
want a good review.
Yeah, no, we'll make her. I'll make her make a saving
But
throw.
I don't want to lie because she probably heard about it, and if I lie, that's not going to go on the review well.
Okay, so you win. You win the game of silence chicken, and she says, well, as you know, I have a very good relationship with the House Crux operators on this ship. Iker is here on their behalf. We aim to serve. And a well-educated subdirector is an efficient subdirector. I was given access to the post-action report. And in the debrief, it says you had a little bit of trouble with one of the officers. Would you like to tell me about that?
Well, I don't know if I would call it trouble. It was a little bit of a kerfuffle, if anything. And it's been resolved admirably. And
yeah, and she nods and she says, so if I were to speak with Officer Ibanez, he would agree with you? Everything's shipshape?
Well, I'm not sure if he would agree because between you and me, he's a very disagreeable person in general. But his supervisor took care of the situation, and
yes, thank God for the chain of command. Well, I'll just make sure that the next time that I speak with Officer Greaves that I can confirm what you said. I'm sure everything is handled.
And I did apologize to him personally and made sure everything was okay. And because at the end, I am answerable to him, correct? Not this Ibanez gentleman.
She nods and she says, of course. The terms of your contract are clear. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I have an opportunity for you, Ms. Riley.
Oh, what kind of opportunity?
Well, as you know, things have been somewhat difficult of late in the Empire. Extended periods of unrest, and everyone could use just a little bit more credit to go around, a little more spending money. And she turns her pad and shows it to you, and she says, Aker would like to offer you an opportunity to have a little bit more financial breathing room, a little bit of extra spending money for those special shore leave days. And you just see this wall of text like on her data pad.
I look over it and kind of like while I'm looking over it, say very faintly, in return for what?
She says, oh, it's a standard package. The extension of your contract by a marginal amount would afford you a higher amount of credits to spend on a weekly basis. It pays for itself in the long run.
Well, kind of look over it.
And she looks around and she says, it looks to me like you could use a little extra room, to store your things. Like just piles of stuff all over the floor. And like the two of you are standing quite close together because there's nowhere else to stand.
She's so shady.
She just wants to help you. She just wants you to be able
No, I
to
mean,
live
she's
the
throwing
baller
shade
life.
at me.
That's right. Yes, that's true too. That's also true.
I kind of shift and my demeanor changes a little bit, just a little bit. And I'm like, well, I assume that you are offering me this contract because you found my performance and my services to be valuable?
She nods. You're my favorite asset, Riley.
Then I'm assuming it would not be amiss to maybe negotiate some of the terms of this contract.
And she gives you that kind of like, oh, I see face. Let's have you roll. Let's see if you can convince her to have that conversation, or if she's just like, I'm gonna just pass you off to HR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
make
right.
a talk roll with charisma.
Okay. Wait, did it go? Oh, no modifier. There we go.
Ooh, okay. So she makes a face that is very much a performative cringe, right? It's for your benefit. It's not the actual reflection of anything she's feeling. So she makes a face like, ooh, like I wish I could help, but you're gonna have to talk to my manager. She says, it's really more of a human resources task, sort of outside of my wheelhouse. But I'm sure the next time that we're at a communications hub, I could put you in touch with someone in HR, and they would be happy to help you.
Ma'am, it's just from my understanding, well, I guess maybe I went about this the wrong way. It was less about pay, which of course I would never waste your time with that. That's definitely an HR issue. And it was more about maybe an expansion of some of my duties, maybe overseeing more people, or
she gives you a little pat on the shoulder, and she says, ambition is good, Riley, but you have to apply it in the right way. Let's have this conversation again after your review.
Thank you for your time, ma'am.
She smiles and says, of course, I care deeply about you and your well-being. We have to stick together, don't we? And like gives you a little wink.
Of course.
Yeah. And so she like tries to like smoothly leave, but has to awkwardly in her high heels like step back over all the trash and stuff, and then like leave. She leaves the room. And yeah, you were left with the smell of her perfume in the air and the greasy feeling that even though you didn't agree to anything, that somehow you got robbed. Like there's just this feeling of like, ugh, that wasn't good. I lost something there.
I smile, and then as soon as the door closes, just kind of slump down with my back against the door.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So I want to give Booker, I want to give you an opportunity to chew out Yancey as need be. So you told him, you're like, now we're gonna meet in this room. Are you there by yourself? Is there anyone else with you? What do we imagine? We're Yancey coming into the room. What do we see?
You see Booker sitting there, still in wet clothes.
Awesome. Okay, so there's like a puddle on the floor underneath you.
Yep. Like just like eyeing him as he comes in.
Okay. Yeah, the door opens and Yancey steps in. He's in uniform now. Just the casual like deck uniform. His hair is still wet. He did definitely just come right here from the shower. And he looks at you and he glances at the puddle on the floor and he says, you wanted to see me, sir?
Sit down.
He does.
You got a real problem, Yancey. You know what that problem is?
He understands what a rhetorical question is and doesn't answer.
You fucked up on the planet. That's fine enough. I can deal with that. However, the gall of you to insult me and the crew by extension, that's a real problem. I'm not looking for a project, Yancey. I'm looking for a competent soldier, one I can depend on, one that doesn't piss around with stupid bullshit that doesn't matter. You get me?
Yes, sir. I understand you.
Is he like smirking at all, or is he?
Maybe a little.
You can wipe that stupid fucking smirk off your face. I'm not playing around with you, boy. Come at me again, disrespect me or my crew. That will be the end of you. Dismissed.
And he stands up, and I'm gonna make a mental save to see if he has the wherewithal to leave without saying anything. No, he fails. He does not have the willpower not to say anything. So he stands up, and he takes a couple of steps towards the door, and he stops, and he turns around. Do you have any idea who I am, sir? Who my parents are, sir? I know that out here, on the ass end of nowhere, maybe you think you're in charge. But there's nothing you can do to me that will even pale in comparison to the retribution that my house and my family will bring down on you. And we can play this game, if you want, where you're in charge and I do as you say. But the Richter knows who's really important around here. It's not you, old man.
I'm not playing any games, Yancey boy. And that better be the end of it with you and Riley.
When you say Riley, his eye like twitches slightly.
And for the record, I don't give a shit who you think you are. Serve well, you'll get respect. Be a little shit, you'll get nothing from me. Now get the fuck out of here.
He does. He goes. Yeah. So he turns and he walks out, and we stick with him. And the look on his face is one of like, you can see him planning. Like he's already like, all right, I gotta start with this shithead Riley to prove a point, and then I'm gonna work my way up. And if Booker talks to me like that one more time, I'm gonna get him. Yeah. And so we linger with him a moment before it fades away to someone else. Yeah, he's handled in the moment, but yeah, there is an implication that like there's something going on, and I don't think you ever really like looked into it, though you could have. How attentive would Booker have been when you were given the like, here's all the people that work for you? How much do you look into that?
General personnel file. So whatever, it says on there, if it has a readout from what family it's from, and if it is a prominent house, I'm sure Booker would probably know about it being from,
Yeah, I mean, you're distantly related because he's Crux, but his family, like his parents, they are. I don't know if you would know necessarily. Let's have you make a roll. Make a no roll with intelligence.
Okay.
And we'll see how plugged in. Okay, so yeah, you know that his parents are important back on Hyra, but you don't remember why. And you remember that this is his first posting. Like he joined the Judiciary Enforcement Service and then was put on this ship. And that's kind of all you know. Someone else who has a better connection to Imperial Society or who's more like socially minded might be able to help you fill in some of those gaps. But you remember someone saying once like, oh yeah, that's Justicar Ibanez, like he's a big deal. At some like, cop party that you didn't want to be at. Maybe somebody was getting a medal or something, but you remember someone pointing out like his father across the room. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Great. So you've had this talk with Yancey. Where after you're with the Richter, Nomi, what do you do? Where do you go?
To talk to Greaves.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's good. I think you walk in at this moment, right? Because you can track where Greaves is on the ship too. So you see Yancey when we stay on Yancey, we see you in the background, this kind of green and black blurry shape, and then when he walks past the camera, it refocuses and we see you. And so you watch Yancey walk out of the ship, and then immediately to your left, there's the closed door that he just came out of, and that's the room where he is.
Okay. I just knock on the door quietly.
Would you knock on? Where were you knocking?
On your door. Booker's
Yeah, this
door.
is the door to the
conference
conference room that you're.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Booker takes a moment. Come in.
I open the door and walk in. And I have my hands kind of clasped in front of me. I bow and I say, Officer Greaves.
So Officer Greaves looks like he was just out in the rain. There's a puddle of water around his chair. His hair is wet. He's got his clothes are damp.
And I say his name and then I look around. And I say, was it raining?
I like strolls in the rain from time to time.
And I kind of like, it's like a half smile. Like I don't show teeth when I smile, but it's just kind of like, I'm so pleased with myself telling a joke. And I say, a moment of your time, if you please.
Certainly. What's on your mind?
I had a conversation with the Richter. And I have a concern about his plans for our team.
Oh, do you know?
It seems he is interested in replacing you.
Not surprising.
I wonder what you might feel is the best way for our team to go about this situation.
We do our job. Let the work speak for itself. And I wouldn't be too worried about him replacing me. You gotta understand it's a part of his job too. You're not the only one that pokes and prods.
Okay.
No offense.
She like bows her head and like none taken. I trust that Officer Yancey was dealt with accordingly.
Booker nods his head, takes off his cap, puts it on the table.
And our next mission, is that underway?
No word as of yet, but when we have one, I'll let you guys know.
She
Anything else?
bows again. That is all.
Nice chatting with you, Nomi.
Great combo, Nomi. Excellent.
Yeah.
Just like
Good talk. Good talk. Gotta go. I'm a little damp right now.
There's whiskey and bars to sit in.
That's right. I gotta go get drunk or dry, whichever. We'll see. Okay, cool. So you have this conversation with Officer Greaves, and so meanwhile, and sort of lastly, like Jason, where do you spend your downtime? Where do we see you? Because you have until the next mission comes in to kind of like chill.
Well, following he did some simulations recently, which we did in the last one, where he was doing some testing out some stuff in simulations. So maybe like with this scene, it kind of cuts to Jason's, I guess, like apartment or quarters.
Yeah. What does Jason's place look like?
So it's actually, it would look quite fancy. I think like it would be quite a large space, because I kind of wanted the Argus family to be kind of influential a little bit, like have a decent sized family. But it's very neat and very tidy, and it's actually kind of a little bit high class, in that it's all kind of sleek, very kind of finished, very clean. Maybe have some like hologram projectors of kind of like old Earth Greek statues. Kind of around, like he just has like hollow projectors of kind of like Greek heroes or something like that and things like that, kind of make him feel at home. And I guess like he'd be mid conversation on like a comm system, probably calling home, and it'd probably kind of catch him as he's kind of talking with his sister, and he's basically kind of saying stuff.
Well, this is a great opportunity to talk about the way communication works. So, if you're in a system, as long as you're within the sort of bubble of a single star, you can communicate in real time with anyone else that's also in that system. So you can beam straight communication to them. If you're talking to someone who is out of system, you essentially have to write them letters. You have to like record video for them, and then the ship stores it in its communication cache. And when you jump to another system, it beams a copy to the satellite, and then other ships will pick it up. So all of the ships in the system act as relays for comms. So sometimes it can take a really long time. Sometimes it's fast. It depends on your ship and the satellites. But it's sort of age of sail. So news takes some time to get around. So maybe you're recording a message for your family.
He'd be recording it, and it would kind of probably go along the lines of like, "Hey Hippolyta, just sending you the latest data from the simulations I've been testing on the Hercules. Some of the grav engines worked out fine. Cannons are all operational. It's feeling a little bit funny in the stabilizers. You might want to take a look into that. You know, escort mission. I needed the movement. Shield held up well. Just hope you and Mum are all right. Just sending you a report. Send me through the next batch of test stuff, and I'll speak it there. We got a couple of good engineers here. They can probably install it on one of the machines. All right, bye." And then like he just closes it down.
And we see the house Fornex like sigil come up to close the comms, and then I imagine you have a secure channel kind of communication protocol that'll allow you to communicate with your family. Okay,
sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just like a little thing. He's just updating them on his testing that he's been doing.
Okay. So while you're recording, you hear, I think at the end, like there's a pause. Whoever's outside has been like listening to make sure you're finished. Because right as soon as you hit the button, there's a knock on a door.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably just kind of close the machine down, kind of, make sure the thing's sent, lock the screen or whatever, and then just head over and open it up.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk to the door. Sergeant Holtzman is there. And he's just wearing his like casual uniform, and he says like the door slides open, and he's grinning like he's got a story to tell you. He's excited about something.
Okay, I'll probably look at him and be like, "Holtzman, all right, what is it?" I just kind of look expectantly at him.
So he walks in. He just walks into your room, and he's like, "I think Greaves has gone insane."
Okay, why?
Not but an hour ago, in the rec facility, he came in looking. He's like trying to be able to get this. Came in looking for Yancey, and of course, Yancey, asshole he is, was ignoring him. Officer Greaves was paging him. We all knew it. So he comes in, and Yancey's in the shower, and he goes right into the shower, closing everything, and grabs him and throws him up against. And he starts laughing. You should have seen it. Oh God, Ibanez was just it was a beautiful thing. It was amazing.
What did Yancey do?
I don't know. I mean, he's Yancey. He's pissing off people all the time.
I just meant like, what did you do with Greaves? Imagine Greaves standing behind you, fully dressed in the shower while you've got your John Thomas out. That'd be ridiculous.
Listen, I try not to imagine Officer Greaves when I'm in the shower, but listen, you do you. All right.
Yeah, well, I will.
He did what
he's a handsome fella.
He choked. He stood there.
He did.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? I don't know. I mean, I've been hearing rumors they're looking for a replacement for Greaves. Well, I mean, how much do you even know about this guy?
Me? Like, not that much.
He looks around. He's like, I mean, he's family, so I guess I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But
I mean, look, I just kind of put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, Holtzman, look, I'm a pilot, mate. I don't understand a lot about this stuff, but Greaves had our back down there, if nothing else. I mean, I want to fly a few more things. He was pretty pissed at me because I got in the way. I need to talk to him about it. But look, let's give him a few more missions before we go kicking the guy out, And besides, do you reckon they're going to get somebody better? Yeah, true.
Yeah, he's like,
true.
And he shrugs and he says, well, I mean, if I was Yancey and I heard they were looking to get rid of Greaves, maybe that's what's got him so worked up.
I'll look at Holtzman and I'll just be like, what do you think about Greaves? How do you feel about him?
I don't know what it's like for a Fornax, but you grow up crux and you learn there's essentially two kinds of people.
Right.
There's people who think they can make a difference, and there's people who think that the world owes them something. You can guess which kind of crux Yancey is.
Yeah.
His parents are famous. They're a big deal in the Justicars. I try to avoid the guy. I just don't want Greaves to put me in his way, you know?
I just kind of like look at him hard and I'm like, listen, Holtzman, I don't know Greaves that well, but he doesn't strike me. If you don't fuck up, I don't think you're going to be in harm's way, you know? Just do your job and he'll be happy with it.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, what else are you going to do?
He shrugs. It's like, yep, shit rolls downhill.
I just kind of like thumb to the door and I'm like, I'm going to go down to the bar. Do you want to come with? Get a drink?
And he salutes. He's like, sir, yes, sir.
All right, leave that out, and then we'll kind of head out the door and shut it behind me.
Okay.
Out.
All right. Yeah. So you, the two of you head down there. Cool. Okay. So the call to the next mission, the information will come in, but I want to give anybody who has like a goal they want to pursue with another crew member, or if they have another scene they want to use to illustrate something, I want to give you an opportunity. So does anybody have like a cruise ship like downtime scene they want to do? Anybody have anything jumping out at them?
I kind of do.
Okay.
Sort of. So, especially after my meeting with my supervisor, I'm feeling especially like I need to, especially because as far as I know, I'm probably not aware that Greaves talked to Yancey.
Right, because you got some Yancey business to take care of. Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't trust this guy. I know how nobles operate, and I'm not going to let him ruin my review. I've worked really hard on it. So, using some of my skills, is there any way that I could potentially install some sort of listening device in or around his quarters?
It's not so much a question of if you could, as it is a question of should you? And that's not my job to talk about that. So yes, the answer is yes to that question. I mean, you'll have to get in there first.
Yeah.
But if you were able to get in there, you could make a roll to install some kind of like listening device or
I'm thinking
or remote
like
viewing drone.
Yep. Yeah. Or is there any way like, let's see, I'm trying to think of where he stores his gear. If I could maybe like install something like in one of his electronics or on his person.
Yeah, I mean you can fuck with him however you want, honestly.
Okay. I'm assuming he's not in his actual uniform right now, right? He's probably in his casual gear.
Yeah, everybody has several uniforms. Technically, they're required to remain in uniform all the time, unless they're like off, like on shore leave, which they're not. Yeah, I mean, he's got a locker in the armory that keeps his like stuff in. He also has quarters. He has his own like room because all the nobles do. Yeah. So you got options.
And I'm assuming he keeps his armored, like his actual suit that he does missions in the armory.
Yes. Yeah. The armory has where where his combat stuff is.
And how well protected is the armory?
It's a room full of guns.
So it's pretty well protected.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have clearance to just like walk in there.
I do, however, believe I did get clearance from Officer Greaves to grab myself a lender rifle and practice at the gun range. So could I, by chance, use that as an excuse to enter the armory?
They do keep the guns in the armory. Yes.
Oh, how fortuitous.
Yeah, it's good. You got there. So
I will walk towards the armory and speak with the quartermaster.
Okay. Yeah. So there's they rotate when you're not in like a war situation. The actual quartermaster would work elsewhere, but there is someone on duty. And so you get to the armory, and there's a initial kind of entrance room with a protected, like a window, and there's a clerk, and she's sitting there looking at her data pad because nobody's coming in here for stuff. And so when you come in, she looks up and she squints and kind of like looks like, is there a noble or is there somebody? Are you've lost? Like gives you a look like.
I kind of shift and I'm like, greetings. I am part of Officer Greaves' detachment, and he graciously allowed me permission as well as access to a firearm so that I may practice in the shooting range.
She pulls up the range schedule, flips through it. What's your name?
Limmer Riley.
Riley. Flips through it. I don't see anything here on the range schedule.
Mayhaps you could establish a line of communication to Officer Greaves and double check that the paperwork went through?
Mayhaps. Now suddenly she's acting like she has better things to do when you know for a fact she doesn't. Mayhaps I should. Hold on. She hits a button on her comm panel, and Booker, your comm thing goes off.
Booker here.
Oh, cool.
Officer Greaves, I have a Riley here at the armory looking for some range time, unscheduled range time. Did you give the go ahead on that?
Lamar Riley. Yeah, she's clear.
Thank you, Officer Greaves.
1 second. Let me double check. Officer Ibanez is not in the shooting range right now currently, no?
She gives you a look, Riley, like, what does this matter? And then she shakes her head. No, the range is empty for now. Oh,
She's
no,
clear.
I'm sorry. We have one user, Officer Greaves. But it's none of your troops.
Sounds good. Let her through.
Okay. So she looks at you and she says, hang on. And she gets up and she takes her comm badge, her little like badge, and like swipes it and walks into a back room and comes around. You hear like clunking as she opens the door and then opens the door to the armory. And she gestures like, come on in. And she walks you past where they store. So the armory is for both internal equipment storage, but also like where all of the gear for a deployed military action would be. So it's like racks of very expensive, very scary weapons. There are like grenades and like low grade power suits, like sub mech class power suits, like all kinds of good shit in here. And she leads you over to like essentially a gun rack, and she says, "Behold, the cornucopia of implements. What do you need?"
Well, I was hoping to use just, a standard laser rifle. I know my way around one. I just wanted to.
She squints at you as if she's sure that's bullshit. But she says, well, you have permission. And she grabs a matte black laser rifle and hucks it to you. Takes down a battery pack, gives it to you. Gestures. She says, the range is down that way. If you run out of ammo, just let me know. And when you're done, I got to re-examine the weapon. Security.
Oh, yeah. Quite understandable. So I'm assuming like are the rifles assigned to people?
No, they're just like general.
Okay.
Yeah. The armor would be fitted for each individual user, but the guns, they're not specialized or anything.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and head over to the shooting range then.
Okay.
Yeah. And if anything, I'll try to pull something when I get back. Because I don't think she's gonna leave me alone in here right now.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk over to you walk into the range, and it's arranged exactly as you would expect. It's like several semi-private like stalls, and then there's a hologram range. So downrange you can see, and actually you see there is there's a hologram flickering at the end of the range, and someone is in one of these partitions trying to shoot the hologram and not having a good time of it. Like they're shooting the ceiling and the floor and like near it, and it's not going good.
Who is it? Do I know? Can I peek?
You can't see. They're in the. You can walk past them and see, but
yeah, I'm gonna do that. Can I walk past them out of sheer curiosity and take a peek?
Yeah. Okay, so you start to take the walk down to go and like get set up in your own lane, and there's a person. She's dressed in a civilian outfit, mostly gray and black, and she's got long like white hair, but it's in a ponytail out of her way, and she has safety goggles on and headphones. And she's like firing down range, and every time she goes to fire, her whole body like tenses up, and she like kind of looks away and pulls the trigger. And she's doing a terrible job. How well do you know the like civilian crew of the ship?
Probably pretty well. I'm kind of paranoid.
Okay, yeah. All right. So I think you recognize this girl.
Is she cute?
Her name, you haven't seen her face, but yes. She is. She's bred to be cute. Yeah, she is a House Lyra representative on the ship. Her name is Nicola. Why she is practicing with a gun, God only knows. No one really knows why she's here, because she's like a cultural attaché. And she mostly gets invited to meetings and doesn't say anything, and has never really had anything to do on the ship. And here she is in the gun range, just like firing downrange for no apparent reason.
Okay.
But yes, she's adorable. It's built in.
Well then. You know what? Riley thinks better of it. She's about for a moment it flickers across her mind that she could totally pull one of those pool maneuvers where, I see you're having a hard time.
Yeah.
Allow me to assist you. But
help her make pottery like in Ghost.
Yeah, but she cute, but she not that cute. Not worth the effort right now. I'm gonna go ahead and walk past her. Pretend. Well, not really pretend. Fire off like couple of clips worth of rounds, and then go ahead and go back and attempt to maybe get a little bit of alone time in the armory, which I will see how that goes. I'm not sure it's gonna go very well, but
okay. All right. Yeah. So you hear her, you go in like relatively close to her before you put your headset on. You hear her make a couple of like adorable, frightened squeaking sounds as she like fires the gun downrange a few more times. And then she gives up. You hear the clatter of the gun like on the desk, and she's just like, fuck this. And then you hear her walk away as you get set up to fire.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have some practice time in the range, and are you here to like actually practice, or is this just cover for like your shenanigans later?
A little bit of both.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you take some shots. You practice with the gun. It's a laser rifle. You've used these before.
Okay.
And then when you're done, when you like run out of ammo or whatever, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go ahead and collect my weapon as well as the one she left on the desk. And return both of them to the armorer. Okay.
Yeah. So you come back out, and you're in the armory. One of the engineers is there. He's adjusting one of the like power armor suits. But no one's paying particular attention to you. You can go back over and re-rack the guns and stuff.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk past the engineer, kind of looking at his work out of sheer just curiosity, and then re-rack the gun, and using the pistol, which I don't know where it goes, as an excuse, I'm going to try to maybe locate where some of the uniforms are stored.
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, you can find the officers their lockers.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to look for Yancey's locker and see if are they? I'm assuming, are they locked since they're lockers?
They are lockers, so yes.
Okay. And can I attempt to open it?
Yeah, of course. You just want to try to like physically open it? Like, just yank it open, or do you want to try to like crack the lock?
I'd rather try to crack the lock.
Yeah, okay. Let's have you make a roll.
Okay.
I think in this case, the roll that you need to make is a you don't want to break it. I think it's a program roll because it's an electronic lock.
Okay. I actually get 3d6 for that one, so that's kind of exciting.
Nice. Yeah, so if you can get between 7 and 9, you open it, but there may be a way to tell that it was like cracked. If you can get a 10 or better, no one will ever know that you were able to open it.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey.
Ha
Yeah, this is no big deal. So we see Riley crouch down, or like kind of like surreptitiously start messing with the locker. And our view of this is slightly distorted because we're seeing you as a security camera might, but you get the locker open, so that's good.
Right. Totally forgot about that. But they're only going to review the footage if something happens, right? That's how all security cam footage works.
Sure.
I'm going to go ahead and open it and then just like drop like one of my sort of listening devices, just a small like sort of microphone into one of his like many pockets.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you have a little like mic that you can drop in there.
Mm-hmm.
Close the locker.
Mm-hmm. And then I go and put the pistol back.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk back out, and the Lyra, the cultural attaché, she's talking to the armorer when you come out. The two of them are in the middle of a conversation, and they both look at you and figure out like, okay, you're done, and they ignore you. You walk out into the hallway.
Okay.
So let me know when you want to listen in on Yancey.
Oh, well, it's in his like work uniform or whatever. So I'm assuming we'd have to, for him to be wearing it, we'd have to be like actually on a mission. But yeah.
Yep. But yeah, you now have a piece of surveillance equipment on Yancey.
Yeah.
Cool.
He also has a piece of surveillance equipment on me, but it's fine.
All right. Does anybody else have a short scene that they want to do? Anybody they want to check in on, or anything they want to do before they go? Okay. All right. Cool. So the rest of you, and this is good. We can do the briefing, this quick briefing before we start, and then you can think about if you have questions or anything before. So, sometime later, the ship is already in drive space. You are on your way to whatever your destination is, and you are called to get information about your next mission. So I will tell you, Booker, and then you can decide how you want to tell everybody else. So I think that the Richter and Booker, you are in this room together before everybody else shows up. So you're called in like a half an hour in advance. And so the Richter says to you, he's sort of in the middle of briefing you about it. He says, well, we're not going back to the Imperial Core just yet. They've got us heading to Honglu. It kind of gives you a minute to like do you know that system? Let's have you make a no roll with intelligence, just to see what you know about Honglu. Ooh, not much. Okay. So with a 6, you probably can't remember the name of the system that it's in. You vaguely remember there being some kind of like civic problem there recently, but you don't really remember much about it. Do you say that, or do you just make a note in your head to like research it?
Yeah,
later?
I just kind of make a note in my head.
Okay. So yeah, he says we're the closest ship. There's been a missing person reported. House Vela thinks it's a kidnapping. We have a report from an Amira Pajari, matriarch in House Vela. Her son-in-law, Pixis, and he rolls his eyes when he says that Pixis has gone missing. Apparently, there was some communication from Hong Lu demanding a ransom. We're being sent to investigate, or rather, you are. This ship can't get within a handful of AU of Hong Lu without planetary defenses getting upset. They don't like our kind there these days. How Cygnus really botched their government. So you're going to have to be careful. Don't let them know who you are. You're going to be taking your task force as usual, and if you wish, you can bring along some of your other officers, but the more of you there are, the less subtle this is going to be, I think.
Makes sense. Don't want to draw too much undue attention.
Don't underestimate their dislike of the nobility. These dissidents think that they can simply back out of the empire simply because their former masters are letting them off the leash. Dealing with Cygnus was a problem enough. Now we have to deal with a planet full of their uppity serfs. But that's not your problem, Greaves. Go and find out what you can about this missing noble. Bring him back, and House Vela will owe us a favor. Go and remind Hong Lu what imperial justice looks like.
I'll try my best, sir. Also, I'll do my best to act like I have a problem with Crux nobility.
He grins. Yes. Do that. Go through the appropriate channels if you need anything requisitioned. Send me your report when you're heading in. One of the shuttles will be yours to use. Have your Fornax pilot it. And he gives you this conversation is over, end transmission nod, and heads out. And your crew is on their way, and you can brief them, and you can all discuss kind of what you want to do when we get back from our break. So we're going to take a short break, and when we return, Hong Lu and all it entails awaits. Don't go anywhere. More Far Verona after this.